All right, guys, we're back. Hey, that's enough. There's nobody here. Quit. That's the shop help. What I'm gonna try to do is get this without blocking everything. I've got his ears pretty much well set the way they were. Skin's all taxied where I want it to be. Eyes are pretty much well, roughly set. I did the clay work. You really should get in a habit of doing clay work. You see how in the first video the deer was all put together and pretty much well clayed. I do that the night before. I just think it gives you a better looking deer. And the reason for the clay down here is tomorrow what I will do is I will go in there and I will start rolling that in and try to tighten my upper lip or my lip line. And I've already trimmed the skin and everything like that. This particular deer, some of you might be looking at it thinking it's dry preserve. It's actually a product out of Mississippi called SureCure. Don't know what's in it, don't know how it works, but it's a spray on and unbelievable stretch. Finish is good. No complaints with it, anything like that. What I'm going to do is just put a little bit on this nose pad, these nostril wings. I do have a tucking slot in my nose that I come up with. Like I said, pretty good nose. Happy with it. I'm going to do my best not to block y'all. So I'm going to come in, roll my nose pad over. But what I want to do is I want to make sure my nose skin's in there. I don't necessarily have to be where I, want it right this second. I'm just moving things around. This filming stuff's new to me, so you just have to bear with me. And you see I left that nose skin really, really long. I always take my back corners of my mouth and I will put a notch in them. And when I put the notch in them, I find the back corner of my mouth really big. When I go to mounting my deer, I'm big into hair patterns. And that's what I kind of taught in a seminar and, down in Florida. And I told them, I said, if you learn anything from me, I really want you to remember these 4 hair patterns, and they're to me, they're the key to making a really soft deer. I'm gonna get this upper one just kind of tucked a little bit, not worried about, going overboard on it or anything like that. Alright. I got it pretty much well roughed in, and I want to make sure that, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue on this nose pad because that's where the slip lip is going to go. make sure don't have any white showing, and this is where you can get yourself in trouble if you use too much clay on your nose pad. All right, here we go. Let's see if we can slip it in. And if I have it too tight, then I can always, and I'm gonna have to probably on this one, notch it out just a little bit. And that's all good. We didn't have the skin on there before. But what I'm gonna do is just gonna take a small piece of foam out. Alright, I am up against the mannequin. Take and just tap it a little bit. It's heck when you get old and you can't see anymore. When I do my clay work, I always use, I got some alligator clay that I bought at some shows, and I use it for like rough stuff. But I use it for my earbuds, getting the filler in. But when I do my muscles and everything like that, I always do it with critter clay. If I'm doing a competition deer, I build my earbuds in clay, and I do the whole entire earbud in critter clay. All right, so now we're going to get how do we do the bottom? Okay, this is really easy. You got to get a sharp scalpel. I will be back in just a second. I'll tell you right now, if you could somehow come up with a way to have a really sharp scalpel, you can make a lot of money. There's some dry glue. I want to get that out of there. I'm just going to put me a little glue up in here. If you've never done this before, man, just take your time. You have to do this with an open mouth. But what I do is I'm going to come up here and I'm going to make sure I got plenty of skin. And I'm going to find the center of this lip. I'm going to go right to the hairline, and I'm going to cut up just like that. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work my scalpel trying to not cut the white hairs, but I'm going up against the lip part. Don't want to go too much. That's why I'm saying start in the center and then put it up there and see where the wings are. Because when you get to the end of the wings back here in the back, okay, this is when you would cut it straight up and then you'll start tucking. So I need to go just a little bit more on each side. That's probably good on that one. And I need to just a little bit on this side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and just cut straight out. Straight out. Now, change the tool, drum tool. I've learned so much since we moved to Alabama. I moved up here December, right after Christmas of 2021. And I learned so much, man. If you're not a member of your state association, man, I encourage y'all to join. The people that you meet at the state shows, the seminars, I mean, I've learned so much from seminars and just talking to people. I get it down like that. I take my scissors. You really want this as thin as you can get it. You got to babysit it a little bit. The nice thing about Pro One is you can rehydrate it, and when you rehydrate it, you know, you can drop this lip like on open mouth work. I'll let it sit 2 or 3 weeks, and I'll rehydrate and drop the whole bottom lip. Normally you can get a little bit more stretch, and you can go back in there and put it back in there, tuck it up, and it won't move. But what I do is I come in here and I just start tucking this little skin into this groove I got. When I get to this corner, I'll start taking what I cut off, and I want it to have some slack. I don't want this to be real tight. Then what I'll do is I'll look and make sure my colors, you know, some of these deer are very prominent with, you know, black and this and that. You just come right here and tuck it like you normally would. I'll move this forward a little bit. And I will come back over this after I get it all mounted, when I make my adjustments before I bag it. This is, I call this the #1 hair pattern is the turkey fan. It sets the brow of the eye. #2 is right here. You got one right underneath, and I got a lot of skin that I got to taxi back here on his ear butt. We'll get to that later. But you got one that comes up underneath that gland. And then the 4th one is this one right here. It actually comes, goes around, goes forward, and then comes down. A lot of people overtuck that back corner, and when they do that, it pulls that hair in there like that. That actually goes around, comes around, and then it drops. So we'll do this side. Get that nice and tucked like that, and we'll come back to the lip. And this is where all you got to do is take that skin. Now, like I said, I'll probably come back in here in just a little while and try to maybe thin that down, let it dry up a little bit. It's a little damp. But you keep that clay there, and you mush that clay back up and keep your glue up there. Let's clean this up real quick. Like I said, it's man, if this can help you guys, man, I'll be excited. As far as I know, there's nothing like this out there. But there you go. There's your lip, and we'll babysit this thing. And then what I'm going to do with this deer right here, once I get him all mounted up and he dries and everything like that, I'm going to do a finished video on how I do my nose pad, and you'll see. And let me grab a couple of the other little slip lips. Here's the one I did in flesh. So if you decide you may want to order some of these, you can let me know, hey, I want charcoal or I want flesh. If you mix them up, whatever the case may be. But I can perfect that color all day, every day. This one here, you have to dab a little black in with your pink, and you can either get them too dark, too light. But like I said, what's nice about this is yesterday I shot one with some pink, let the dry, took my piece of sheet and went right over the top, and you can see the pink in the little cracks. If I will have one of these on my closed mouth deer when I go to the Florida show in February. Whatever I take for closed mouth, it will have a slip lip in it. And what I'll do is, if I want to use this for show, I'll just take some Mod Podge and I'll build this up. Once this dries, if you get a little shrinkage down here underneath the lip part, you can put just a little bit of a epoxy sculpt in there, dimple it around a little bit, then you can take Mod Podge and you can put Mod Podge right there in that crack, and the crack will disappear, especially with a little bit of epoxy. And you'll get that real nice look right there. You can shoot your skin, your hair with pink, and then brush your hairs out, and you'll have the nice pink, and you'll have your nice lip. You got any questions, man, just hit me up on Messenger. Hope it helps you, and I appreciate y'all.